All right. So as Todd said yesterday, we wanted to try to get through all of the Monday curriculum here. However, we didn't get all the way through. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take these blocks. We're going to do them in the blocks. So in other words, we have the bottom section left right now as the next section. And I'm going to go completely through that, trying to explain it the best to my ability as I develop it and doing it, nice and slow. And then once I'm done with that, then it's your turn to reproduce. And that's why we wanted to kind of put y'all in groups. That way you can work together to make sure everybody, talks through it and understands as y'all rebuild it. Okay? So the first fun part is what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working on this section right here. So we go into our code. I'm going to go ahead and create a section. Actually, yeah. See if this works. There we go. Our emit. And we have this H3 right here. Should be an H3.
Also, the one I'm working on now is
This is when you want to reuse them, all right? So like if you're classifying a person, their ID would be their, their personal name that they have, and then their class would be, stuff like their gender, or their male, stuff like that, that has, shared characteristics. So we'll use class container, so it's automatically that div. I'll show you 1 second. Let's put in a H3 of, what was it, what I'm working on? It's not, this is, there we go. What I'm working on now. All right, let's save that. And thanks for the questions. Keep asking them as they come up. So now we can check this out. We can go in here and inspect element. So we have that bottom section, which we haven't done any styling for it yet. It's just natural. It's adopting some of the padding that we put in, the padding top and the padding bottom we put in for all sections yesterday. Then we have the container. So it's at, that width of 970 pixels. And remember this margin 0 auto right here is to center a block element. So it centers that container. And then, of course, we have our H3 here. So the first thing we want to do is we want to center this H3. So we'll go ahead and go, I'm going to do this comment again for the bottom section. I'm going to say bottom, so any H3 in the bottom section. We'll give it text align, center, and then we want to make it bigger. Let's just go ahead and see what CSS this header has. So it's got I'll just go ahead and grab it because you guys know what all this means. It's got the font weight of 600, so it's a little bolder than the average, and then it's got the font size of 32 pixels. I'm just kind of trying to keep my code looking good here. So let's reload this. All right. So, and it adopted the same Courier new font. So what we can do, this is a good point to show you when you're sharing characteristics. Actually, that H3 are all child elements of this div with the class container, so they automatically, unless we otherwise specify, they automatically adopt the width of that container. Okay?
So when you're speaking of keeping it clean, when you're nesting like this,
Yep.
all right, do you just use the tab button to keep it clean, to indent like that? It's just this tab, it doesn't automatically do that for you or anything like that.
Right. I mean, so yes, to repeat his question, he asked if when I'm building like this, nesting like this, you said, do I use the tab? So if, in other words, if it doesn't automatically do it for me, so yeah. Like as soon as you enter within one of these, so it sets it up so that it set it up so that it was, right there tabbed perfectly for me. So that's a child element. So I can put it inside there. If it doesn't, then that's what I was talking about yesterday, where you can highlight different lines and indent them to keep it clean. And I mean, this tabbing in is not going to do anything like interpretation-wise for the computer, but it's just for you to easily identify and stay organized on what's the
Website code of any website, man, when they have it clean, it's nice.
Right.
You can figure out what's going on.
Exactly. Yep. And then you can see also, with the editors these days, they connect. So I don't know if y'all can see on that screen. That was the wrong. The heck did I just do? You can see they show this nice little. If you can see it, it's hard to see line connecting where the the div starts and stops. Same with the section. It's good to follow along that way as well.
And I'm sure when you want to publish it to GitHub, it's very appreciated to all those that view your code. If you want them to really admire your work, that they can read it.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Readability. Okay. So now we want to make each of these divs right here 50%. Or half of the screen, and we used the width yesterday for the container. We used it as that absolute 970 pixels at all times. So there's another way we can classify width on elements, and it's percentage. So it's going to be relative. The percentage is going to be relative of the parent element, whatever it is naturally. So right now, since it's 970 pixels, what I want to do is give each of these 1/2 divs a width of 50%, right? So you can see they both adopt that width of 50%. And now, this is where the fun starts. We have to figure out how to get them to stay next to each other. So there's 2 ways to do it. Let's go with a little bit more complex way, and then we'll go with the easier way second. So we have them both at 50%, and remember yesterday we used this float to push something to the left. So what we're going to do is we're going to have both of these divs right here float to the left, and it's because of the border. Hold on one sec. Take out that border. Remember we talked yesterday about the box model and the border. Okay, so actually I'll show you that next. So you see how it's down, like you can see right here very so slightly that it doesn't completely, like, in other words, this section, like it's like these elements, since they're floated, aren't a part of the screen. In other words, like this section should go all the way down to where these 2 divs complete, because these divs are within this section, so that background color should be surrounding it. Does that make sense? So it should be there, but since it's floated, it's not it's not considered part of, like, trying to think how to explain this. It's not considered like part of the.
It's called taking it out of the document flow.
Right, thank you. Part of the flow of the document. So what we do for this is they have a clear fix. So we have this clear fix. So in other words, I want to show you there's ways to clear the floats. In other words, to just bring it to, I'm always bad at explaining this part, but there's ways to clear the floats. In other words, like puts it into it cuts a line across and moves everything down. And like, can you think of a better way to explain this?
So the document flow is like things are either block elements or they're inline elements. And the document flow starts from the top and it just starts flowing down. And you have different HTML elements